G'day everyone and welcome to the third round of the ANZCRL Combined Racing League Toyota GT86 Cup Division 1. I am your host as always, Saturday15, and with me in the commentary box today is my Pegasus. How you going?
I'm good, Sado. How are you, mate?
Yeah, been pretty good. Been on that iRacing sweat myself, but I'm looking forward to watching these guys duke it out in these stormy conditions.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I did practice with them on Thursday, and there's a couple of big puddles. There's always the one on the exit to the final straight, and where's the other one? Can't quite remember. But then there's an interesting one where we do the cut through. Normally where the track's shorter. There's a big one on the inside there, so be a couple of interesting lines. Didn't see a lot of these guys at practice. I think there's probably out of this division maybe 3. So it'll be interesting to see how guys go.
They've put the championship top 3 into the chat for you guys to see, with first place being Colonel Lloyd with 88 points. Second place is Dado Racer on 84, and Taipei Samurai is third place due to Dado's win. But he's also on 84 points, so we have a tie for second. Interesting to see who is going to be moving up the order in this race. As we saw last week, the two different tracks, we had two completely different results.
Yeah, throw in a whole wet race this week. I think the name of the game in this one is just bring the car home. Of course, they can drop their worst round, but those that have had a bad round last week, this is a must for them to get some points in this one. So, what do? Go with the ego or go with the head?
Yeah. Well, the competition's already proven to be quite tight here at the top. 1 second separating the field in these early stages of practice, with 7.5 minutes left to go. Here we go on board Simo Racing 4, fastest in this session so far. Showed a fair bit of pace last week as well, but just couldn't quite pull it together when it mattered most.
He struggled in, was it the second race?
No, it was the first race at Sonoma, where he...
was the first race.
He could have already could have come first or second in that first race, but just a few too many spins has left him in 4th place in the standings.
Yep, so he's keen to make amends for that today, and he's shown the way too in the wet. Across the line, has he improved? No. So Taipan hasn't been out. Woody's just got on the track now.
Oh, oh, Simo locking the rears up coming into turn 1. It's downhills at a very tough braking zone. And Simo's
it is, and you cross the white line there too.
Very slippery. Zone. Very easy to get
I think
it wrong.
My experience, I was drifting it into turn 1. But it was quick though. It was surprisingly. It was the way to get round 2. We've got Dado just going fastest. There we go, half a second.
Yep, so he's proven to be one of the men to beat. Yeah, the tough race at Sonoma, but of course he can drop that round if he does well in the rest of the championship, so it's not all doom and gloom for him. And even with that poor result, he's still second in the championship after his win at the Red Bull Ring.
Yes. Alright, let's jump on board with Taipan.
Yes.
He's been watching people, I think, in the pits. He's just come out with 5 minutes to go.
He actually did surprisingly well last week, Taipan, considering how underdone he was, having just gotten back from holidaying in Japan. Got a second and a third place. Did a very good job.
Yeah, he's fairly consistent, isn't he?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure he took his Xbox with him.
Yeah, he must have. But he always
Nice
seems
through there.
yeah, he always seems to be able to turn up and be competitive in whatever car he drives. We even saw that in the British Touring Car Championship we ran early in the year.
Now, this is the corner I was talking about. A big puddle forms down there.
Ah, yeah.
Late in the race.
Might be worth taking the go-kart line around the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing how wet this track gets over the 15 minutes. And then, of course, we've got the big puddle on the inside here in the kink.
Hasn't quite formed yet, but we know that it will.
No. Yeah, we've only got light rain at the moment with thunderstorms forecast for the race. A bit of understeer there. Some traction. And we have a puddle on this corner here. It's gone wide.
So does he improve? He did.
Yeah, well, that was his first lap.
Yeah. He's moved up to 5th place ahead of Lockie 5.5s. Only 1/100th of a second separating Taipan and Lockie. Very slippery.
Let's jump on board.
Especially at this point in the session, probably hard to gauge who's quick and who's not.
Yeah. Here's Woody, looks like he's had a few excursions.
He had a tough time in it last week. He even took a gamble at one stage and stayed out on the slick tyres when the rain came in.
He did.
In Austria.
Yeah, and it almost worked for him. Almost.
Yeah, it just rained for a couple of laps too long.
So turn one's going to be the braking for turn one's going to be interesting. So, is he almost loops it? Yeah, it's like getting your brake bias right for that corner. He's decided to pull in.
Yep, into the pits board.
And then turn two. Turn two is very hard to see the apex where turn two is.
There's no white lines there. So.
I can never get that corner. No, I can never get that corner. So, and normally there's a cone there, but I think they took it out pretty early. Wide.
Didn't surprise me. They're all just getting the grips in the conditions. As it looks like Lockie's pulling over and towing back to the pits.
Yeah, is that enough? You're right. So he was quite quick in the wet on Thursday practice. So
he'd be looking to make up for his horror show at the Red Bull Ring.
I think he might be a bit of a dark horse. If he can get a clean start, let's just say that he's hanging the rear out. If he can get a clean start, get some clean air, stay out of trouble, he'd be tough to beat, I think. Oh, just as I say that.
You're putting the moz on
this is everyone I've looked at the moment's ended up in the pits. This is what practice is about, find those limits, find the limits of the grip. And of course, some of these are probably running around with light fuel, so that makes it a hell of a lot, or changes the feel of the car a lot too. Turn around in the wet, no fuel in the back.
Squirming under brakes this time. Oh, that's a... taking the bump over.
That's an interesting line. Yeah. He's keeping going. Oh, he's missed that turn.
Yeah, very narrow, that hairpin.
It is, and it comes up faster than you think too.
Yeah, it's sort of it sort of doesn't suit the rest of the track, which is wide, fast and flowing.
Yep. Yeah, and downhill, it's downhill around the corner as well, so the car tends to just push, so you have a bit of understeer naturally anyway. throw in some water. Taipan hanging it out. He's obviously keen to get into the drifting series.
The Japanese drift masters.
Yeah, that's the one.
Across the line.
Does he go faster? I think he improved a little, yeah.
Yeah, he's in fourth now. Only 1.1 seconds behind Dado in first. Ratso is still slightly on the track.
We'll hang on to that well.
I wonder if he'll be able to finish his lap. He must have spun or something. Yeah, won't be finishing his lap.
Nice. Won't quite make it.
Yeah.
There we go.
End of practice. Dado Racer is your pace setter with Simmer racing in second and Lloyd in third. Taipan fourth with Rotso down in fifth. Lockie 5-5 will be kicking himself. Is down in sixth, and Woody Lizards ran up the bottom of the field in seventh place. Here we go.
So they've got 5 minutes to make a lap.
Yeah. And it is
going to be
bucketing
tough.
down.
It's bucketing down. They've got to get out, cold, wet tyres, get some temperature in, and then get a lap. For me, and I guess for you too, Sato, the approach would be just get out there and bank a lap.
Yep, try and do as many laps as possible, which I think Rotso was the first one to leave the pit, so he'll be putting himself in a good position to get as many laps in as possible. Look at that, you can hardly see the cars through the heavy rain.
It is, there's a bit of a puddle forming there on the inside too already. Got behind.
Yeah, right, so it's got those wipers going at full tilt, trying to get as much water away from the windscreen as possible, but it's going to be fruitless.
Look at that, it's just coming through in sheets.
Yeah.
How's he going to brake here? In the wet, where do you pull up?
He slides it through the chicane. Actually, a lot tidier then than he was in practice.
Yeah. Alright, here we go.
Here you go. Start the first one.
Last laps to start.
Into turn one goes right, so he actually gets it pulled up pretty nicely.
Yeah, good line through there.
Yeah, looks very tidy
as well.
It's been a very tidy start to the lap. That's all you need to do to start with, just build your pace up as you get the tyres up to some sort of temperature. Though how you can get the tyres up to temperature in these conditions is beyond me.
Yeah, I think you're relying on the brakes to heat up the wheels. The grip of the tyre. We got behind him, we got Simo behind him. See him in the background.
Yeah, Simo has been on it by the looks of it. Here comes right, so up to the chicane, uphill braking zone, so it's actually easier to pull up the car. So we're keeping it tidy through the chicane, which Rotso does. Into the final corner now, and still looking very tidy. Maybe a bit hint of understeer, but
yeah, ran a bit wide.
Should be a decent banker time for Rotso, 23 flat. Yeah. Here comes Simo.
23.
23-2. Lloyd 24-2. Dado goes second at 23-2.
So we got Taipan just coming across the line.
23-3. Lockie fastest at 22-8.
Yes.
That's a ripper time to start.
It is. Here comes Woody. Obviously, Lockie, when we saw him, he went back to the pits, did a few tweaks, got his mind settled.
He's going to follow it on. Woody goes last at 24.8. Simo back in the pits.
Right.
I don't know about that. Track's getting wetter and wetter as you go. You got to keep lapping. Look at that, the puddles are already forming on the back straight.
Yeah, maybe Simo had an off. That's why he's put it away.
Perhaps. So you'd expect qualifying is done now for Simo, and he'll be starting. Well, he's in provisional fourth at the moment and could be lower as these guys continue to set lap times. Here comes Rodzoa around the final corner. Can he go faster? The track's a lot wetter now than it was at the start of the session. Has he improved? No, he has not. Here comes Lloyd. Can he improve?
Right.
No, he cannot.
Dado. Dado. Who's next?
Next is Taipan. And yeah, none of these guys have been able to improve. Oh, that's a bit...
Well, there goes Lloyd's lap.
Yeah, he's...
Won't get anywhere now. Still got Woody to come. Here comes Woody. 2 seconds down.
He's not going to get another
last lap. What can he do? And he doesn't improve. I think his lap was invalidated, that's why. So, who's next on the track? Right, so I'll be next one to come in.
There we go. Whoa, he's run off the road.
Oh,
that'll be...
Runs wide.
That, yep, that was an invalidation. He's going to do a practice pit stop. Here comes Dado. So he's continued on. Can he go faster? He's 4/10 behind Lockie at the moment. This track is looking pretty diabolical at this stage though. Across the line.
It is, isn't it?
No, he did not improve.
He improved.
Here comes Taipan.
Taipan.
No, he didn't improve either. So yep, the track's in bad condition. And your pole sitter for round 3 is Lockie 5.5s. Did a ripper job. He was nowhere in practice and he's pulled a lap out of his ass to get the pole. Right, so in second, he's also done a really good job. So the two guys that were sort of down the order have now just jumped everyone in qualifying. Dado Racer in 3rd with Samurai Racing in 4th. Taipan Samurai in 5th, and your championship leader Colonel Lloyd is down in 6th place. With Woody Lizard rounding out the
field. He
field.
won't be happy. So what I can see there, Lockie, he made up his time in Sector 1. He did a 24 in Sector 1 in the practice session, so he's obviously got that first couple of corners nailed. Yeah, then the rest are pretty much the same. Would have been interesting to see what Simo could have done if he'd got another lap in. We didn't quite see. Maybe we speculate that he's had an off somewhere. Invalidated his lap and put it away. Dado, pretty consistent.
Well, Dado will be ruining
an interesting race.
Dado will be ruining his mistake in the first sector. By the looks of it, he was 6/10 slower than Lockie, and faster Lockie in the last 2 sectors.
All right, here we go.
Lining up on the grid. Drivers were making sure to get all their setups and pit strategy sorted. Very stormy conditions here at the Nurburgring.
Right, so ready to go. Dado. Simo.
Look at that, the puddles are already starting to form as they're sitting on the grid.
That's huge. Taipan. It looks like the middle of the straight would be the place to be on the first lap. It's pretty, no puddles there. Lloyd and Woody.
Yeah.
It was interesting watching him when they come across the line there in that last 2 laps of qualifying. They were all outside, so maybe there's something there. come onto the straight, get into the middle of the road, a bit more grip. But yeah, definitely gumboot weather.
Let's get your rowboat out.
It is. That's crazy. Look at that there. You can even start to see the reflections of the track.
Yeah.
Reflection of the fence in the puddles on the track.
Yeah.
So,
Thundering and
what
lightning.
do they do? What do they do?
Oh, just try and paddle around and
I'd
hope
almost,
for the best. The
I'd
car's
almost
gonna
be
be
tempted to like just put a bit more fuel in, just get a bit more weight over those rear tyres in these conditions. You might give up a bit in speed, top speed, but I think you'd gain more out of corners with a bit more grip. So,
Here we go.
Anyway, only time will tell.
Yeah, the red lights are up. They're green and we're underway. The cars are slipping, sliding off the start. Lockie's got a terrible one.
Oh,
And Dato's got a ripper start.
Big jump by Dado.
Yeah, Dato got a ripper start off the second row of the grid. And he's going to charge into turn one. May possibly get into the lead if he can outbrake right. So Rotso's hit Dato. And Lockie's now
avoided that.
Dato.
Dato's around.
Here we
Rest
go.
of the field get around.
And
Dado will be spewing.
yeah, that was such an
Threw
unfortunate
it away,
contact.
turn one.
Looked a bit of a racing incident for mine. 3 wide into 1. And it looked like Dado might have just came down on Rotsoa. But the beneficiary out of that little bingo is that Lockie's regained the lead after a shocking start.
And Taipan's jumped up 2 places. Woody's gained a place. Simo's dropped
Lloyd's
back 1.
gone from 6th to 3rd. So he got a ripper.
Well, yeah, he has. He benefited big time out of that. Always tricky turn 1 in the dry, let alone in the wet. I think Dado, he should have realised that there was someone there. Maybe he just left a bit more room. Anyway, this is what we learn, isn't it? Every time we go out.
Yeah.
But he's caught up the back pretty quick, so he's still a threat.
Yeah.
He's pulling away here. He's got a second gap already.
Yeah, Rotsoa. Lloyd's actually passed Rotsoa for 2nd place.
Lloyd's past Rotsoa.
So now
it's on here down the straight. Rotsoa to the inside.
Rotsoa's having a look. He's trying to pressure Lloyd into a mistake. Lloyd goes defensive into turn 1. Hard on the brakes.
Oh,
they're slipping and sliding. And looks like Lloyd hangs on. But he's gone wide through turn 2. And Rotsoa's... Oh no. No, Rotsoa must have cut the corner.
Got to slow down.
To give the place back.
Yes.
So
that's allowed Taipan to close in on the back of him.
Yeah. Oh,
right on the back. Bit of a bump there.
Yeah.
Through the puddle too.
No advantage gained, and the Rotsoa was able to continue on in 3rd place.
He has, and his Taipan's dropped back.
Yeah, and
Lockie's cleared them.
Yeah, it's got a 1.5 second gap to Lloyd. Rotsoa was in the toe of Colonel Lloyd as the lightning's starting to play havoc with our broadcast. Hopefully it doesn't hit one of the towers
on the brakes
and kill the broadcast. Looked a bit deep for Rotsoa then. Had to hop the curb. It cost him a bit of time.
Oh, look out, we've got Simo on the back here.
Yeah, on the
goes
back
for a dive up, but there's a big puddle there.
Yeah. There's not going to be much room for overtaking now. The track is going to get very, very slippery, very, very quick. But look at this, Simo in the toe of Taipan Samurai. Look, goes to the outside now as they approach turn 1. Who's going to be
Dado making a move as well.
Yep, who's going to be the bravest? Looks like they're each other's equal. Oh! Dado! Completely corner cut turn 1. And...
We missed that.
Where's Woody?
He's got Woody.
Woody has disappeared. Oh,
he
must have... Okay, there must have been a bit of contact between Woody and Dado.
We missed that. He's looped it somewhere.
Well, he looped it coming into turn 1 because Dado and Woody were going side by side approaching turn 1. There must have been a wheel spin moment or something. They've come together because it said, yeah, Woody spinning out and Dado completely was he had all four wheels on the grass and slid straight across turn one.
Look at the spray coming off
Yeah,
these cars.
you will not be able to see a thing if you're the following car. Oh no!
Oh, right, so then Lloyd, both of them go off as they touch. I'm not quite sure. Lloyd seemed to lose traction there. He was a bit slow out of that chicane.
Yeah.
And, I think that left right sail with nowhere to go. It's unfortunate. Lloyd will be spewing.
Yeah.
You know, that's allowed Dado to get past and put Dado back up to right behind right sail, but unfortunate there.
Yeah. That's a
Didn't quite get that.
tough blow for Lloyd. He had a brilliant start to that race.
He did, but he's not a fish. He doesn't like the water. He doesn't like the rain. So I think yeah, we ought to just knuckle down now and bring it home. See how we go. Let's go back up type. So this has benefited Taipan and Simo. Without doing too much, these guys are now second and third. I'll follow them through here. I'll see if I can get a shot. We get the camera onto the onboard and just see what they look like down through the kink here. What the spray comes up as.
Yeah, jump onto the roof camera.
It's
Or hamburger camera as they call it in the V8 supercars. Here we go.
Look at this. How are you meant to see your line through that?
Yeah,
No,
and
we're
we
having
have
trouble
slightly
seeing
better
it from the
visibility.
camera view.
We have slightly better visibility on the roof camera compared to what it is in the cockpit. But I tell you what,
Yeah.
you would not want to be the chasing car.
Look how wet that track is.
Yeah, very much hug the middle of the
That's
road.
crazy. There's that big puddle on the exit with the start-finish straight. These puddles, they're deep. You just clip the inside, or with the inside tyre, it just grabs you and you're a passenger from then on in. Look at this, down the straight. Almost got to pull out of the spray just to get a view. Oh, it closes right in on the brakes there. This tough corner here we're calling is hard to find the apex. He's got the best exit. Taipan takes a shallower exit there. Pulls a few car lengths. Where do you brake here? Under the bridge bottoms. Hug it in tight, but there's a big puddle on the inside. Look at that. That's a lake. I think I saw some ducks on there that time through. And that's allowed Taipan to... Oh, they're both run right here.
Lockie's must have made a mistake because he's lost 2 seconds on these two guys here.
He might have clipped that big puddle. They're closing in. Go back to track side. Have a look at our battles. So we've got Lockie, Taipan, Simo, Right Sower, Dado, Ian, Lloyd. Lost their way a bit here. Dado's doing well. He's just hanging in there. I was in a race with him the other night. There was 12 in the field. He blew his motor before the first turn, went to the pits and ended up finishing third. So he knows that if you hang in there, it can come to you. Hard on the brakes here. Taipan's closed in. Lockie. Let's follow Lockie around. See how he's going.
He's been struggling.
Sometimes he finds it hard. He finds it hard to keep his focus sometimes. Puts his line through here. This massive puddle on the inside. Yeah, just taking it easy through there. All three of them. So we're still in the hunt here. Still got nearly 17 minutes to go. Come down onto the back straight. So we'll pull the speed up. So 190, 200, 210, yep, 210 in the wet. Hard on the brakes up the hill.
Look like Lockie's getting a better exit onto that fast straight than what Taipan is. But Taipan's making it all up under, making the time up under brakes.
Right. So it'll be interesting to watch that. Maybe we'll follow Taipan roof cam. Wrong car. We'll see where he closes. Yeah,
Look at
definitely
this.
closes up under brakes. He closes up a mile there.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
if
wide
he's
for
whoa,
Lockie. Oh, that's so close.
oh, but tap, the tap there. If Taipan's anywhere near him on the straight, he's going to get him under brakes easy.
Yeah. You go
That's
through
what I
the
was saying
shortcut.
before. It all comes down to your brake bias in these cars.
Yeah.
Get it
You can
right.
see just there the shot of the that massive puddle.
Oh yeah, you're right. Look, Lockie's so far through this section, he's pulled out.
Yeah.
All that huge gap on Taipan after he closed right in. So he's out to a second here. Let's see what he pulls in under brakes.
Yeah, if Lockie can keep doing that, then that first place, I think first place should be pretty safe for him. Whoa, but having said that,
Went in there a bit hot though.
yeah, I think Lockie's trying to push a little too hard, and if he keeps pushing too hard like that, look how wide he is, then he's going to cost himself the lead.
Yeah, Taipan's just got to play it smart here. Just keep showing him the nose. Let him know he's there. And, I think Lockie's out braking himself. I think he broke about 20 metres early, or 20 metres later than Taipan.
Oh, he spun it!
He's got it all sideways, and he's thrown it away, and that's what we're saying. He just had to keep presenting. Let me just get back. That's allowed Simmer and Right Sailor come through. This is such a tight race.
Yeah.
Here we are, Dado and Lockie. So Lockie's dropped 3 seconds there.
It's just the slightest mistakes are costing everyone. I don't know what's going on at the back there between Lloyd and Woody. They're going back.
Let's have a look at these guys.
Oh, look at
there's
this.
There's a battle on for 3 here.
Yeah, a three-way battle for the lead. And if they can slow themselves up, they'll let Lockie and Dado catch back up. So it's going to be a fine line of whether they battle or just stay in formation, just try and push away.
Yeah. What do you do in this situation? Well, I think you just sit there. Just sit there, get your rhythm, get your marks, and let everyone else fall apart.
Yeah, easier said than
Who
done,
can do
mate.
that? I mean,
I know as the
That's
following
it,
car
that's
in
it.
these conditions, you definitely don't want to be following any cars. It's much better when you can see the braking markers, see the corners. Look at that. Taipan's taking a very different line to turn 1 than the other drivers.
oh, he is. I think he's searching for the grip.
Bit of a mistake for
And
Taipan.
he compromises his exit. Because he goes in shallow. It's better grip, I think. We talk about the centre of the straight at the start of the race, and I think he gets better grip under brakes, but then he's slow out of the turns.
Yeah.
Well, what happened to Lockie there? I think he got a bit sideways in the background.
Yeah, but I think he saved it because he's still gaining.
Still
The
gaining.
cars ahead. It's dropped now to 3 seconds the gap.
This is the battle, isn't it? This is one of the... We watched it last week, didn't we? They threw the rain in, everybody closed up, and we've seen some excellent racing. And again, here we are. Some excellent racing.
You've still got 12 minutes of racing left for round 3. So still 12 minutes of ultra close racing.
Three onto the track. Where do they go? They're all sticking to the outside still.
Taipan, Simo Racing and Right Solar. Currently 3rd, 4th and 6th in the championship respectively. So this could be a very good points haul for these guys as they try to catch up to Colonel Lloyd.
Yeah, they'll catch up big time after this race. As we know, Lloyd back in 6th place. It's hard to look away from this. But
Lockie's under pressure from Dado Racer. In fact, Dado Racer's actually passed Lockie for 4th place.
yeah, so we did see a bit of a wiggle.
So I think Lockie is struggling big time under brakes. And It's costing him dearly in this race.
Yeah. It's alright to be fast for one lap, but you've got to be consistent for all of them. And that's what Dado's doing. So you think about Dado's incident, I'm not quite sure how much he lost in the first lap. He's only 4 seconds behind these guys now. So
Yeah,
he's a fair chance
times.
get on the back of these guys, make it a four-way battle, and look, he's already pulled a gap on Lockie.
Yeah.
Just that short time we've been watching.
Braking zone into chicane. Lockie's struggling big time.
So let's get back. Let's have a look at. Here's Lloyd. How's he coping? And Woody in the background.
Yeah, these boys have
Still
been.
looks pretty straight.
Yeah, but they've been struggling. Oh no, he's clipped he clipped the puddle.
Clipped the puddle, and he saves it. And keeps going, and Woody goes past. Well, they call it the commentator's curse.
Yeah.
But wow, that was spectacular footage. 360, knocks it into neutral, drops the clutch, puts her in gear, and away he goes. But yeah, he's having a filthy round.
Yeah.
He can't wait. 9 minutes 28 seconds is way too long for him. So we move back up. Oh, we've missed it. There's been a change. While we've been watching that, change for the lead. Here's Right Sailor up the inside of Taipan. Taipan's had a mistake, so Simo's been patient, as we're talking about. Taipan's made the mistake. Simo's made the most of that. Right Sailor's got past. Taipan now in third, so in the space of a lap he's dropped 2 places, and Dado and Lockie are moving in. 3.5 seconds off the lead now. Is that right? 3.5 seconds off the lead, or from third place? Well, about the relatives. Taipan goes through the puddle.
Yeah, very squirmy.
That's what you don't want to do. Don't want to do that. That corner's tough enough in the dry. You put the foot down too soon. There's a little rise or something there, and you spin out. Hit that puddle in the wet. You spin out. So he's trying hard. He wants this win. He wants that spot back.
Yeah. Well, Simo will be keen to win this race. He threw away a couple of chances last week, so he'll be trying to make the most this week. Because Rightsail very slidey into the shortcut. Rightsail's actually done a ripper job. He's second on pace.
He has.
He was second on the track, and he's been on pace with all of these guys. So he'll be quite chuffed with that.
I did mention it at the start. I did mention he was a dark horse. He was quick on Thursday in practice. Quite consistent. He's just got to hold it together for another 7.5 minutes. And Dado is there. What a great drive from him. Won't be too long, and I think he'll be up here challenging for a podium.
Yeah, he's got 7.5 minutes to go to try and close up on Taipan Samurai. As we come and start lap 13 of this race. Could it be unlucky for some?
Let's go through. Let's have a look at our fuel on these guys. So we've got Simo's 21.
That's all.
Oh,
15.
15. Well, Taipan runs wide.
13.
12. Dado on 21. Lockie's on 13. 7. Woody's on 11.
So I would say Taipan's probably
17.
the benchmark of where your fuel needs to be.
Hold it together.
I reckon Simo Racing's put way too much fuel into the car. But maybe that was to give him better traction in these wet conditions.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. And you look at the ones that have got the heavy load. You've got Simo and Dado. And Dado's got past Taipan while we just checked that. So.
And Dado now
just getting that better traction.
Yeah, and he had the fastest lap of the race on the previous lap by, so he is flying.
He is
4
flying.
seconds behind Simo, and he'll be having a late race dip at trying to get a first place finish.
He will. So, but Simo's still holding. No, that three. He's got 3.5 seconds on Dado. But then Dado's had to get past Taipan. He's got a clear track. He can actually see where he's going now.
Look at that, right side,
and then
right
we
on
got
the
right
bumper
side.
of Simo Racing. Could we see a change,
Yep,
change of the lead in the next?
Oh, and there's a tap.
That is a tap.
Oh,
Probably helps
yeah,
Simo more than
that's
anything.
gotta give-
Just push him forward.
there would have been some damage on the front aero there, and that's the last thing you want wet is have no aero on the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's already suffering there, so maybe he's got some suspension damage as well. Yep, car's getting a bit taily. I think he might have damaged the suspension as well as the aero. So he's not dropping back too far. He'll just have to get used to that, adjust his driving style, work it out. He's only got 5 minutes to go. What have they got? About 4 laps to go. And in the meantime, they've pulled out. They've pulled out on Dado. Simo's pulled a good second out over the field here, these two, so they've ramped it up.
Yeah. Sort of 4.5 minutes left in this
Flying
race.
hard now.
Yes,
Oh,
could go
Taipan's
either
come
way.
back on Dado, so
Yeah. So
maybe
Taipan's
Dado
found
made a
his second
mistake.
wind.
Yeah. Get on the stroll. Slow out of that turn though. Dado's pulled almost a half a second when he went back to the leaders coming down into turn 1. Yeah, these two guys. Oh, is that a cut there? You get anywhere near that dirt, I think yeah, so there's the exclamation marks up.
Exclamation mark means a close battle on the course, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. First and second, about half a second in it. Count down the time left, 3.5 minutes to go. This is going to be a grandstand finish to what has been a spectacular round here for the Toyota GT86 Cup. And look
at that rain.
The rain, but Rotso is in the tow. Can he close up by the chicane? I don't think so. He looks a little too far back. Both under the brakes, trying to brake as hard as they dare. Oh, was that a mistake for Simo?
Bit of a wiggle.
Yeah, a bit of a wiggle. Got a poor exit. Unfortunately, it's only a short burst to this final corner, so you can sort of get a gap back.
Oh, he's
Rotso's
clipped that puddle. He clipped that puddle.
Yeah.
He just took it too skinny.
Yeah, and that's given Simo the buffer that he needed.
Yeah. Back to Taipan on Dado. So that puddle on the exit to the straight, that's deadly. You saw it there. He did well to hold on to it at the end. Oh, good line there by Taipan. And again, closes right in. This is all the track. Where are we braking here? Dado's braking after the bridge. Let's have a look at this lake. Look how big that is. Nearly halfway. Oh, Taipan just clipped it. It's nearly halfway across the track now, that puddle.
Yeah. Yeah, gonna
Runs
take
wide.
the go-kart line now. There's only 2 minutes left. So I want to say 2 laps to go in this race. Maybe
Yep, I think
3
you're right.
if they can time it right.
Ooh, flirting with that puddle on the inside, Taipan. Hard on the brakes, closes in again. As you said, he's a demon under brakes. I don't know what he does with his car. Maybe he's running different pads to everyone else, but unfortunately it's not how quickly you pull up in this race, it's how fast you go.
Yeah, you gotta keep the flow up. Very stop-start track, this version of the Nurburgring, and it really suits Taipan's driving style. Just unfortunately a couple of mistakes has seen him drop down to 4th place.
Oh, here we go again.
Rotso
taps
right off
him
the backside
again.
of Simo.
So he's pulled in a second on him somewhere, and these guys are holding each other up now. Dado's within 2 seconds. So these guys got to be careful. Do you go for the win, or do you bank the points, or do you throw it all away? What do you do? Tempting. It's tempting when there's a win in front of you.
So engrossed in this battle that I forgot to tip the analog stick to keep the screen on. So sorry about that. But here we go down the back straight now for what could possibly be the final time in this race. With 35 seconds left on the clock, it's going to be close to see whether they're going to get another lap in.
Yeah, I think they'll get another lap in. They'll get another lap in.
Going to be touch and go into the chicane now. Oh, look at this, Simo's made a mistake.
Slow out there,
Rightso's going on the inside, but he's going to be dealing with that puddle.
Oh, this is going to end badly. Oh, good driving there, they hold it together.
They hold it together, they've gone side by side. The clock's almost running out. 2, 1. We've got another lap in. This is the final lap of the race.
To go. This is what Simo didn't want. And Rightso's. He's up the inside.
Oh, they've touched.
Oh, they touch. Oh, hold it together, boys.
They got
There's
side
Dado.
by side through turn 1 and 2.
Taipan's got past Dado
does
in
the
the
switch
background.
back.
Dado's got back.
Oh, Rightso
So
back out of it, did he? Had to give Simo the place. He must have cut the corner a little too fine. Oh, there's another
he's
hit.
hit him again. Oh, there could be fisticuffs in the pits after this.
Yeah.
While we were watching these guys, Taipan passed Dado and then Dado got him back. So it's all happening. I think they all wanted the race to be over, but it wasn't. This is the beauty of having a timed race. No one knows when it's going to finish. And it looks like they're closing in on someone in the, foreground.
Lloyd's
as well.
almost going a lap down in this race. He's had a horror run. But can Rightso catch up and pass Simo? We've got 3 corners left. Under brakes we go. Oh, Simo's made a mistake.
Right on board. This is what he did last time. That's I can't get the power down.
So Rightso's having a look. Simo's gone deep. Rightso, can he keep it in?
Gone deep, he's gone wide.
Oh no! Rightso's dropped it. He's on the grass.
Oh, he's dropped it.
The grass. Is he
gonna get
Oh
mad?
no!
He's gonna take that out. Oh! Jeez. Holy Jesus! How close was that? Oh, oh, Dado's heart.
Coat of pain in it.
What a drive from Dado.
Last to second place.
Second. Oh, let's find who's left on the track now. Lockie, here comes Lockie.
Yeah, tough race for Lockie.
Comes across the line.
Was looking good,
Tough
but then
race.
he must have burnt the brakes out or something because the second half of the race he just had nothing in it.
Yeah, and everyone can see, not happy, drifting it.
Oh!
Oh! Jeez.
Massive loss of control. And into
Definitely
the
not
track.
happy.
Here comes Woody
Yeah,
Lizard.
I think his brakes are gone. But he's done well, his car looks pretty clean.
Yeah.
Bit of a dent in the bonnet, but
Had a couple of
he's done
spins,
well.
but
Hold on to it. Can you believe that finish? What a shame we don't have replays straight away.
yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's such unfortunate for a right side. Just by getting on the throttle a tad too early when the eyes light up, and he got on the grass and spun it and he's gone from a potential win to finishing in 4th place.
And here's Lloyd's car, he's
Lloyd.
looking very second hand.
And
Front bumper hanging off.
he had a ripper start and got up into 3rd place, and then just tough race.
Not quite sure
In fact,
what
he's
happened.
Not even going to finish.
Didn't finish.
Oh no, he just got there in the end.
Just
So there's
got
your
there.
race results.
Well, what a race. So if we go back a lap before, Rightsoa was fighting for the lead. There's hardly anything in it. They crossed the line with a second to go, which means they've got to run another lap. And then he's fighting for the lead out of the final turn again and finishes 4th. And we were talking about it. What do you do? What do you do? Do you go for the win or do you bank the points? After the... so we see when it's Rightsoa, he's going for the win. So there's a note to all the other drivers. Simo, congratulations, Simo. He held it together. He was under extreme pressure. He got tapped multiple times and he held it together and came home with the win. And like we say with Dado, what a great drive. He was consistent. He held it in there and comes through with second. Taipan, he held his own. Talked about right, so Lockie, not quite sure, threw it away somewhere. Woody, I don't think he likes the wet too much, and we know that Lloyd doesn't. So interesting race.
So we'll update the
This is
top three of
great.
the championship for you guys. Simo Racing with that wins moved into the championship lead by 2 points. Dado Racers stayed in second place, and Taipan is remained in third place. So 2 points between Simo and Dado, and 4 points between Dado and Taipan. And 4 points further down to Colonel Lloyd, so there's still everything to play for as we head over to the Texas Motor Speedway in a few minutes time. So we're going to end the stream here, and so please head over to the next race. They'll put the link into the live chat shortly, so head across to the round 4 stream where you will find us, where we will start at 8:40. See you then.
8:40. See you then.